And people think I'm being catty by saying this. It's like there were 10 years when I couldn't stand my husband.
You know? Do say that.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Kai, and we back on the Raw Report. And this clip from the Michelle Obama podcast is going viral right now.
I wanted to talk, Marlon, a bit about, just so proud of how you are being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender.
Absolutely.
And that's, that warms my heart, particularly as a black man.
That warms my heart, particularly as a black man.
First off, let's talk about Michelle Obama's podcast, right? And, I'm a Gen Z guy that grew up on the, Obama administration. And, growing up, I never thought anything bad about Michelle Obama until now, I kind of really don't like where her podcast is going. I don't like the red table talk kind of vibe she's giving, what I mean? She's got that Jada vibe, on steroids, and I think she's adding more negativity to Obama's legacy than adding to it with this podcast, right? And I feel like we don't need this kind of podcast again, to where we're just, airing out how much of victims we are, with little solutions, right? And me, I'm all for women empowerment and everything like that, but I don't believe to empower women, you have to put down men, right? And for example, check out when she's rewriting the narrative. Now when Michelle tells the story, Obama was this struggling guy, he was this financially unstable guy before she got with him, right? And I guess pretty soon she's going to take credit for turning him into the president, right?
Would you be attracted to a guy who's not financially sound when you meet him?
I married one.
Don't you like that alley-oop I just threw?
Yeah.
Right, so she claimed that Obama was not financially sound when she married him at that time. And at that time, Barack was a Harvard Law graduate, working as a civil rights attorney, working for a big major Chicago law firm when they married in 1992. So she's really playing in our face at this point. And, when you step into the podcast realm, people can check you, right? People can fact check what you got going on, right? And now Michelle Obama has really fed into the conspiracy theories, right? That some people believe that Michelle Obama is actually a man. And in this clip, she's talking to Marlon Wayans, and it kind of seems like she's referring to herself as a black man instead of a woman.
I wanted to talk, Marlon, a bit about, just so proud of how you are being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender.
Absolutely.
And that's, that warms my heart, particularly as a black man. Would you care to share that journey of...
Well, I learned... So I don't believe that Michelle Obama is identifying as a black man. I don't know these days, though, right? Apparently, you can identify with whatever you want to identify with, but I definitely understand why people are taking these clips and running with it, because she's making herself very unlikable, right? And the main thing I just don't appreciate is the negative undertones that is shading Barack Obama, right? People hated him enough. There was enough people talking bad about him. We don't want you to humanize him. We don't need you to expose him or bring him down a notch. We don't need that, right? We have enough people already bringing black men down, right? And the last thing you need is your own wife joining in on the smear campaign. And, back to Jada, right? We saw how much damage that was inflicted on Will Smith's career, pretty much wiping out all of his great movies, pretty much wiping out all of his great accomplishments. And I hate to see Michelle Obama do that to Barack Obama, right? But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I definitely think that, the clip of Michelle Obama talking about as a black man, I think it's out of context, right? And I don't believe that she is a secret man, right? But I do believe that she's on her podcast lying and clout chasing. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Like the video, subscribe, and we gone.